Back again. Before anything though, this feels so good. It's like a sweet. Feels fun. Anyway, back again with another video. Now, before we get into the video, let's play a quick game. What's something we all enjoy, but we never speak about? That's right, crime. So today, we will be reacting to a true crime documentary. Now, the reason for me doing this is because I enjoy true crime. Like, it's just something about the way, it's just interesting. It's just interesting. Yes, it's sad. Most of them are very sad, but it's also interesting. And I thought to myself, look, if I can sit here and enjoy this, why not enjoy it with you guys? Look, I know there's some of you out there that enjoy this. There's some of you that are just watching because it's me, and I appreciate that. I'm not gonna yap too much. We are gonna be reacting to this documentary. As always, if you have enjoyed any of the content thus far, be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. I don't really do that much, so I feel like it's fair on me to do it for this video. Yeah, without further ado, I say let's get into the video. Also, before we do get into the video, grab your snacks, man. Grab your, I came prepared, buddy. Like I came, man. You must think I'm joking. I don't prepare. I don't prepare. So without further ado, now that you have your snacks, I'll give you like a good 5 seconds. You got it? Okay. Let's get into this video.
I search a young boy between 18 and 25-year-old. Have you a normal body? I butchering you and eat your horny flesh. This chilling post might sound like the stuff of horror fiction, but it's very real. And it led to a crime so shocking, it made headlines around the world. What makes this case even more bizarre? The victim wasn't forced because he willingly agreed to be butchered and eaten. Now, before...
Okay, see, some of y'all need to get off the internet like that for real. Because what do you mean you agreed to be butchered and have your flesh eaten willingly? There's probably no anesthetic. He probably went through that alive. So some of y'all stay away from the internet, man. Some of y'all are into this occult stuff way too deep. You understand? Just relax on that, bro. Don't know what kind of stuff you're into, but relax on that shit. Don't go too deep into the internet, bro.
Jeffrey Dahmer shocked the world, there was Armin Meiwes, the man known as the most respectful killer. A title that might sound strange, but once you hear the twisted details, you'll understand why. And it all starts with his childhood, because like many killers, his descent into darkness began long before the horrifying act itself.
My name, Armin Meiwes. I was born 1961. I'm computer engineer from Rothenburg, Germany. I killed a man, slaughtered him, and ate him. Since then, he is always with me.
Just as you've heard, Armin Meiwes was born on December 1st, 1961, into a family that, from the outside, seemed to have it all. His father was a police officer, holding a stable and respected job. With his steady income, Armin's father...
Look at the timer. You telling me that's not giving red flags already? His timer was probably unstable too. Not even gonna hold you. Not even gonna hold you. But like, dog, my chat is like, okay, how do you find out that that's what you're into? Like, look, I think I should probably, I don't know. Like, how do you know that you are into butchering people and then eating them alive? Or well, eating their flesh? Like, is it like chicken or something, Chief? Like, I don't know. I don't know. Is it like... Okay.
Father was able to provide a lavish lifestyle for the family, purchasing a sprawling 36-room mansion, measuring 16,000 square feet in Germany. It was a home that symbolizes wealth, success, and the kind of life that many would envy. However, within the walls of that grand mansion, the reality of the family's life was far from ideal. Armin's parents had a significant age gap. His mother was 40 when she married his father, who was only 21 at the time. This large difference in age set the...
I'm into MILFs, but I like them all. Securing that PS5, Chief. Yeah, I understood the assignment, bro.
tone for an uneven and troubled relationship.
Oh my God, bro.
Oh, hell.
Is this negative aura, chat? Because, like, I told you, I'm trying to
Armen
get
later
through.
described his mother as extremely controlling, manipulative, and deeply possessive. She was frequently jealous and constantly accused her husband of cheating. Armen believed his mother had intentionally gotten pregnant with him, not out of a natural desire for a child, but as a strategy to prevent his father from leaving her. According to Armen, she didn't want a baby. She wanted to keep her husband. As Armen grew, he experienced the emotional toll of living in a home filled with tension. His mother's control.
My chat is... This is why therapy is a requirement, gents. This is why we need to go to... You need to go to therapy, chief. I mean, you're sitting there, you're feeling things, you don't even know if those things are true, and you're running with it. That's bad, bro. That's bad. That's like me saying that my crush likes, knowing full well I'm not even my crush's type, chief. So let's make therapy let's normalize therapy, guys. Please go to therapy.
Bullying behavior took a heavy toll.
Okay, although this was like 1961, like they say, so back then probably therapy was considered witchcraft. So, yeah.
On the family dynamic, with constant fights between his parents. These arguments would often escalate to the point where Armen's mother would threaten to kill herself or even harm him if things didn't go her way.
Toxic woman. The father's probably just as toxic. Hey, boy, that's what I'm saying. Like, guys, therapy, please.
This toxic environment created a great deal of stress and instability for Armen, who at a young age had to navigate an emotionally suffocating atmosphere. Armen was the youngest of 3 children, and as he grew older, the dysfunction in the home only worsened. His 2 older siblings, overwhelmed by the chaos and toxicity of their parents' relationship, decided to leave the family home when Armen was only about 5 or 6 years old. They were older teenagers, and they simply couldn't take it anymore. With their departure, Armen was left alone with his increasingly distant and cold mother. The absence of his siblings left him feeling even more isolated, abandoned not just by them, but also by his father, who would soon leave as well. When Armen was just 7 years old, his father left the family for good. One day, without warning or explanation, his father packed up and left, getting into his car and driving off, never to return.
Gents, we need to... This is a pandemic, man. Like, this is a pandemic. We need to stop buying milk, gents. Stop buying milk, bro. Substitute with amasi or something. Stop buying milk, chief. This thing is not good. You're harming the future generation, chief. So it's on us. Let's make a change, gents. Stop buying milk, bro.
This abandonment was devastating for Armen, who had already lost his siblings and now found himself without a father. The emotional weight of these departures...
I see you all in the comments.
Oh, Raazo's always sick.
How about you shut up? Not my fault. Not my fault. Sure, I have the immune system of a fly, but not my fault. So how about you keep your smart comments to yourself? As you can see, I am sick, but here I am making the content.
Of being left behind by those he should have been able to rely on created a deep sense of loneliness that would haunt him for the rest of his life. In the midst of all this turmoil, Armen's relationship with his mother remained distant and unloving. She showed no affection or care for him. If anything, she was cruel and demanding, expecting him to handle the household chores that were beyond a young boy's capacity. By the time Armen was 6 or 7, he was already responsible for maintaining the household, while his mother barely contributed. She yelled at him regularly, creating an environment where he felt invisible and unloved. There was no warmth or tenderness in his home, only an overwhelming sense of neglect. To cope with the emotional turmoil he was experiencing, Armen turned to books. He found comfort in reading, and one of the books he became fixated on was Robinson Crusoe. This classic novel, while mainly about survival and adventure, contained a brief passage that would leave a lasting impact on Armen. In the story, there is a reference to cannibalism, a detail that captured his attention in a way he couldn't shake. At the age of just 10 years old, Armen found himself obsessing over the idea of eating another person. This morbid fascination marked the beginning of his dark and twisted desires.
Nah. No. Burn the house and the child.
It wasn't just curiosity, it was an obsession that would define his life. Now, this fascination wouldn't come to life so soon. You see, when Armen was 19 years old, he left home and joined the West German Army, hoping to build a future as a professional soldier. He spent 12 years in the armed forces, a time when he felt a sense of normalcy that helped hold his darker thoughts at bay. During his time in the army, he made some friendships.
That's how you know it's sad, bro. Like, real shit, I've been making jokes but that's how you know it's sad. Bro was on the battlefield and felt more comfortable than being in his own house, bro. Crazy, but still just doesn't justify what he's done, though. Like, but also that, bro, how do you... Yeah, guys, I have a lot to say, but it's a reaction video, not a yap session, so I'm gonna keep it to a minimum.
With women, but none of them went beyond the surface. Armen began to question his own sexuality and would sometimes ask his friends, "Do you think I'm gay?" And his friends would respond, "That's something you need to figure out for yourself." One of his friends later mentioned that everyone seemed to know Armen might be gay, but he was the last to realize it. Or maybe he just didn't understand it at the time. Armen's confusion led him to start drinking more heavily. His alcohol abuse resulted in 2 car accidents, both of which were caused by him driving while intoxicated. After these incidents, he was kicked out of the army. At the age of 13...
Gents, let's, like I said, start speaking up, gents. Whether it's to someone that, you know, it can be a therapist, can be someone you trust, can be one of your boys, doesn't matter, chief. Otherwise, you'll end up like Broella, yeah, you're doubting 2 18-18s on the highway, pushing 180. Waraf, you're crazy. Therapy, gents, speak up.
22, Armen moved back home to care for his ailing mother. She was much older now, struggling with illness and unable to take care of herself. Although she had never been very independent.
You see these buffoons outside, they're making noise now and I'm recording.
Armen's return to the house meant he would be the one to look after her in the large mansion they lived in, a place that once seemed full of tension and coldness. It was also during this time that Armin decided to change careers. He became a computer engineer and found success in his new job, working for a bank. However, the 1990s would soon introduce him to something that would change everything, the World Wide Web. Back then, the internet was new, and websites were often crude and unregulated. This lack of supervision would soon play a crucial role in Armen's growing obsession. As Armen began exploring the internet, he stumbled upon something he wasn't expecting. A community of people who shared his strange and dark interest, cannibalism. This online forum, known as Cannibal Cafe, allowed individuals with cannibalistic fantasies to meet and discuss their desires freely. For Armen,
what's funny is he's saying that, son. You know, yo, boy, like, I like my snacks, gang. Like, I don't know what you want me to say, man. Snacks are nice. Anyways, they're saying that it was weird because the site existed back then when the internet was unregulated. I think the sites like this that exist even now. They're just harder to find, of course. Gents, don't go too deep on this thing, dog. We know what you get up to. Stick to that, boy. Don't make me get into specifics. It's a black and orange website. You stay there, you do your thing, you get off, chief. You understand? Don't be going to these other weird stuff, boy.
Finding this community was both a shock and a relief. Finally, he wasn't alone. There were others who shared his twisted thoughts, and for the first time, he felt understood. The internet, with its uncensored space, blurred the line between fantasy and reality. Armen, eager to explore his desires further, created his own website where he could openly talk about cannibalism. He even began making fake images to fuel the fantasies of both himself and others in the community. Now, if you're thinking about searching it up, just a spoiler, the website isn't available anymore. However, if you use the Wayback Machine, this cool tool that allows you to browse old websites that have since vanished, you can still catch glimpses of what it once was. Although most of the site is gone, you won't find any of Armen's posts from that era. After things took a dark turn, his contributions were scrubbed. But it was essentially a forum, a place where people openly posted about their darkest fantasies. Users shared thoughts like, "I want to eat your flesh," or "I can't wait to kill this person and devour them." Disturbingly,
Gents, was this the riz back in the 90s? I want to kill you and eat your flesh, chick. I know people are nowadays on some one soul, one body, whatever. They took it literally. Because what do you mean you're busy there typing to me, "I want to eat your flesh and kill you," and I'm there on some... What do you mean, bro? Was this the riz, gents? Is this the method? Might have to try this, I can't lie.
posts were not uncommon. It was in this disturbing corner of the web that Armin Meiwes, with his twisted desires, found a way to connect with others who shared his grotesque fantasies. Instead of simply talking about it, Armen decided to take matters into his own hands, quite literally. He visited butcher shops, bought real meat, and manipulated it to resemble human body parts. With a mix of sickening creativity and an eerie desire to be seen as a real cannibal, he photographed his creations and posted them online, painting a horrifying picture of murder and consumption. Many were fooled. They believed his gruesome posts and began to idolize him. After all, in a space where fantasies ran wild, Armen seemed all too real. His online persona gained traction as he continued to manipulate the forum, slowly building a reputation among the site's users as the man who was actually living out his darkest urges. But on the 2nd of September, 1999, Armen's life took a new turn. He came home from work, entered his mother's bedroom, and discovered her lifeless body. Most people would have been filled with grief.
Don't tell me he's about... Don't tell me he's about to do what I think he's about to do, bro. Don't tell me he's about to do what I think he's about to do, bro. If he eats her dead body...
For sadness, but not Armen. Instead, he felt an overwhelming sense of relief. For years, his mother had controlled his life, manipulating him with her possessive and abusive behavior. Without his mother's judgment and control, he felt free to fully indulge in his depraved fantasies. No longer confined by her presence, he took his obsession to the next level. One of the rooms in the house was transformed into his cannibal room, a place where he could live out his twisted dreams in private, untouched by any societal norms or restrictions. What followed was a descent into madness, as Armen began to seek out others who were willing to fulfill his darkest desires.
He didn't eat her. But, guys, the message I've been pushing this entire video,
and that post you saw on the intro, that was the beginning of it all. Surprisingly, Armen received numerous responses from people expressing interest, but most of them would back out at the last moment. However, one man stood out and was determined to follow through. This man who...
Hi, I'm Frankie from Germany. I will eat you. Please tell me your height and weight. Also send me a pic from you. Where you are from? I hope you can come quick to me. I'm a hungry cannibal. Mail me at whatever, your butcher Frankie. If anyone wants to eat an 18-year-old gorgeous male by any means you wish, then just tell me how you would feel whilst devouring my honey flesh into your belly, and I will reply to you so we can discuss real arrangements. Please eat me. So, I have so much to say, yeah? But all I'm going to say is, not once typing all of that did you realize, maybe this sounds weird. Maybe this is weird. No? All right.
Name remains unknown, continued emailing Armin back and forth, expressing a deep interest in Armin's bizarre and horrifying fantasy. In their exchanges, he openly admitted that it was his fantasy to be eaten. Armin, presumably intrigued, responded positively, arranging a meeting at his house. When the man arrived at Armin's mansion, he was greeted by a grim scene. Armin had set the stage for his dark intentions, laying the man out on a table while explaining, step by step, what was about to unfold. But in a sudden shift, the man admitted that he wasn't
Shit is actually so good, bro. Shit is actually... Oh. Yeah, it's... It's so dope, bro. Sorry.
Feeling well and no longer wanted to go through with the ordeal. To Armin's surprise, he allowed the man to get up, leave, and return home. Armin was clearly disappointed, but his primary desire was to find someone willing to participate.
Okay.
He didn't want to force anyone into the horrific situation he had planned.
Because that makes it any better.
Nope.
You didn't want to force, that makes it better. Like, because you didn't want to force someone, it's cool. No.
And if you think about it, that man was fortunate, as Armin wasn't entirely consumed by his madness, and the situation didn't escalate further. Armin, however, was undeterred. Still determined to create the illusion of fulfilling his grotesque fantasy, he resorted to a disturbing form of creativity. He crafted a lifelike body out of paper mache, painting it to resemble a real human form. Additionally, he acquired an old mannequin from a store that was being discarded, painted it to resemble a dead body, and photographed the result. Armin then posted these images on the Cannibal website, further fueling his online notoriety. The site's user...
Look at this picture, right? Tell me that looks like a human being to you. No. Tell me that looks like a human being to you. Because I can clearly see that looks nothing like a person.
Were enthralled, believing that Armin had actually killed and consumed a person. They hailed him as a hero, a true embodiment of the cannibalistic fantasy they all shared. His fame within the cannibal community grew, with many users idolizing him for what they believed to be his gruesome deeds. Despite these online theatrics, Armin's desire to find a willing participant never wavered. He continued his search and prepared for the day when he would find someone willing to die for his twisted purpose. One of the rooms in his mansion was transformed into what he referred to as his slaughter room. This room was devoid of windows, with a cage to hold his victims and meat hooks hanging from the ceiling, an ominous setup reminiscent of something straight out of a horror movie. And finally, Armin's persistence paid off when he received a response from a man named Brandes. Brandes, a 34-year-old engineer, had been married but had recently separated.
What is it with the guys who are successful wanting to do this? This proof... Sorry, let me remember. He was a soldier, then he was a computer engineer, and now another engineer. What? Gents, come on, boy. Come on.
From his wife after revealing that he was curious about exploring relationships with men. His inner turmoil over his sexuality had likely caused strain within his marriage, and his wife's departure left him to confront his desires alone. Brandes, too, had been active on the cannibal forums, participate in Armin's horrific fantasy. The two exchanged numerous emails, during which Armin detailed what he intended to do with Brandes's body once the act was completed. Brandes, in turn, proposed his own ideas, requesting that his skull be used as an ashtray after his death. In a deeply disturbing...
How are you? Oh, yeah, nah, they had different different level of confidence back in the day. For real. You ever catch me on some please come kill me? It's either I'm already dying from something, or it's April Fool's. I'm not doing it, bro. I'm not gonna tell someone use my skull as an ashtray, knowing I'm gonna get no.
Exchange, he also asked for his penis to be severed and for both men to partake in eating it together. Armen, who would later...
Hold on, that was a bit too much info all at once. Too much info all at once. Hold on, let's backtrack. How? Okay, so I'm assuming he's gonna do the private part first, and then they're gonna...
discuss his motivations in interviews, insisted that he never wanted to violate the wishes of his volunteers. If someone wanted to be consumed in a particular way, he was more than willing to accommodate their request. His twisted sense of respect dictated that every detail should align with his victim's desires. And after weeks of correspondence, a date was set. March 9th, 2001. Brandes would travel to Armen's home, where the two would carry out their unthinkable plan. Upon his arrival, they engaged in sexual relations before proceeding with the preparations. Armen, intent on minimizing Brandes's pain, provided him with sleeping pills, alcohol, and even Vicks, believing that this combination would dull any suffering. Brandes accepted these substances willingly, fully aware of what was to come. Armin also informed him that the entire process would be recorded, a way for him to relive the experience long after it was over. With the camera positioned and ready to capture everything, Brandes lay down on the table. Armen, staying true to the agreement, began with the act Brandes had requested. With a sharp blade, he severed the man's genitalia. In later interviews, Armen described how Brandes let out a horrific scream, but only for about 20 to 30 seconds. Blood sprayed from the wound, resembling a fountain, an image that would be forever burned into Armen's memory. But the night's horrors were far from over. Armen, still adhering to Brandes's wishes, took the severed organ to the kitchen. There he attempted to prepare it as a meal. With meticulous care, he seasoned it with garlic, salt, and pepper.
Me when she says she's coming over. Hey, I deserve at least one joke.
Pan with oil. The surreal nature of the moment was not lost on him, nor would it be lost on the investigators who would later uncover the grim details of this crime. After attempting to cook the severed organ, Armen plated it neatly, serving it to both himself and Brandes. But the experience was not what he had imagined. The flesh was incredibly tough and nearly impossible to chew. Disappointed, Armen admitted that it tasted horrible, chewy, rubbery, and just not what he expected. Meanwhile, Brandes was bleeding.
I'm sorry. Like, I know this is a very old case, but what? You didn't expect it. But it's not chicken. It's not. Look at this shit. It's not chicken, bro. It's chewy. What? Guys.
Heavily, and the mess was getting out of control. To contain it, Armen moved him to the bathtub, thinking the running water would help. Every 15 minutes, he checked on Brandes, expecting him to pass quickly, but the process was taking much longer than he thought. Time dragged on, and as he waited, he picked up a Star Trek novel to pass the time. Even as he read, Brandes was still alive, slowly fading away. After nearly 3 hours, Armen decided to speed things up. He walked into the bathroom, looked at Brandes, and simply said, "Sorry, but you're taking too long." He kissed him, then slit his throat. With Brandes dead, Armen got to work. He dragged the body out of the tub, chopped it into pieces, and carefully stored different parts in his freezer. The skull, however, was given a separate resting place. It was buried in his garden. The rest of the remains were wrapped and preserved for later meals. In an interview, Armin described how he carefully set the table, lighting candles and using his finest dinnerware. He prepared a piece of meat from Brandis's back, frying it with princess potatoes and Brussels sprouts.
It tastes like pork, a bit more harsh, substantial.
For the next 6 to 8 months, Armin lived off Brandis's remains, storing the pieces in his freezer under stacks of pizza boxes. He ate the meat in different ways, sometimes frying it, sometimes using it as a pizza topping, even having it for breakfast. But eating wasn't enough. He needed validation. He returned to the cannibal forums and uploaded photos of Brandis's remains, showing off his achievement to the dark corners of the internet. His posts sparked excitement among others on the site, and they showered him with admiration. By late November or early December, he found himself running low on his supply of human meat, which he had been consuming for several months. Wanting a fresh victim, he returned to the cannibal websites, posting advertisements for a new volunteer. However, his online activity caught the attention of an Austrian student who stumbled upon Armin's posts and the disturbing images he had shared. Realizing that this wasn't just a fantasy, the student tipped off the police, telling them, "I think this guy actually killed someone." So on the morning of December 10th, 2002, police arrived at Armin's mansion. As they searched the house, they initially found nothing unusual. However, when they opened the freezer, hidden beneath stacks of pizza boxes, they discovered 50 pounds of meat. Armin calmly told them it was wild pig, but upon closer inspection, officers noticed something shocking. The flesh still had human skin attached. Confronted with the truth, Armin didn't try to hide anything. He confessed immediately, admitting everything he had done, even handing over his computer, the photos, and the VHS tape documenting the crime. The police...
I had a lot to say, right? But I don't even know what to say now. I don't know. Why would you willingly do this? Why would you willingly do this?
Arrested him on the spot, and as the case unfolded, the details horrified the public. On January 30th, 2004, Armin was convicted of manslaughter and sentenced to only 8.5 years in prison. This sparked outrage, as many believed the punishment was far too lenient. However, his defense was unusual but strong. Brandis had willingly participated, as proven by the emails and the fact that he had traveled to Armin's home voluntarily. This case exposed a shocking legal loophole in Germany. Cannibalism was not technically illegal. With public pressure mounting, prosecutors pushed for a retrial, arguing that Brandis was not in a stable state of mind to consent to his own death. On May 10, 2006, Armin was convicted of murder and sentenced to life in prison. Since then, Armin has undergone a surprising transformation. While serving his sentence, he became a vegetarian, rejecting meat altogether. He has also given multiple interviews, which are easily found online, where he speaks calmly and articulately about his crimes. Watching him, you wouldn't suspect he was a murderer. But if there's one thing true crime has taught us, it's that killers often look completely normal. Armin has acknowledged that what he did was wrong, but the damage was already done, and his case remains one of the most disturbing in modern history. So, what do you think? Did he deserve life in prison?
I think that don't just speak up, bro. Just speak up, man. There's no need for you to drag something out like this, to let it get to a point like this. Stay off the deep side of the internet, bro. Don't stick on the surface, bro. Your TikTok, your Instagram, go watch a movie, go stream a movie somewhere, but don't be doing all that unnecessary stuff, bro. But guys, I don't know, man. That whole ending there had me in disbelief. For a good 5 minutes, I was speechless. I didn't know what to say, bro. And that's saying something. I got a big mouth. Now that was I enjoyed that reaction. Like I said, I tried to keep pausing to a minimum because it's a reaction. I want you guys to watch the video too. Oh my days, where do I even start? I mean, at least he got life, you know, he changed his life, I guess. He changed it around, but like, you ate a person. You literally stored meat, like butcher, hooks, all of that. You had it. I guess that's the end of the video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. As always, you know, I might do more true crime reactions. I'm gonna see how you guys like it. Hope you enjoyed the video. Be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe. You know, get your friends to sub to the channel. We're trying to hit 200 by probably end of May. Hopefully, end of this month would be great. By end of May, we're trying to at least hit 200. The support has been insane. You know, every video there's growth, and that's all that I aim to do. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the reaction. It's been your boy Raazo. Can I do my outro? It's been your boy Raazo. Catch you guys in the next one. Take care and peace.